Hello. This morning we are talking about this week's content on Activision Blizzard. This is a follow up from our earlier piece from July. So we have Activision Blizzard 180-day publish date here in our filter. We can see by volume and sentiment. The last time we wrote about them was July and beginning of August. Since then, they've had a couple news spikes in September, and then more recently, right here in early to mid November. So this is really, a case of it's a company we wrote about. Things have not been going well for them since we wrote about them, and we can take a look here at our detailed data. There's a lot of pressure for their CEO Bobby Kotick to resign as CEO, as he was the one who was in charge and still in charge when a lot of the sexual harassment claims came to light. They're also being pressured by Nintendo. Nintendo's new as of today. PlayStation and Xbox are also threatening to cut ties with the developer unless drastic changes are made, implying that they want the CEO to step down. There was another event in early November where their female co-head of Blizzard, she was head of Blizzard for 3 months, and she stepped down citing unequal pay and said that she was not offered equal pay to her male counterpart until after she put in her resignation. So that's something we capture a little bit earlier in the detail data. But yeah, as we can see here, and the Wall Street Journal report came out. There's more lawsuits, Fair Labor Standards lawsuits with the Communication Workers of America Union. There's a lot of things that are not going well for the company. That being said, they do produce a slate of very popular games, very popular titles, and those releases are now being delayed due to this controversy. So it's a way that this controversy is going to impact the bottom line of the company by delaying those sales and releases, and potentially affecting the revenues for this quarter and going into the new year. So, this is a clear cut example of poor governance, poor workplace culture, human capital issues, governance issues affecting a company, and then the issues being dragged out to the point where it's all that is being talked about for the company, and it's not about the products and the games anymore. It's about the people in charge. So to compare this with other companies in the industry, we're going to also look at our new group analysis view that we piloted. We have it live on our dashboard just yesterday. So we have the 180-day publish date here, Activision Blizzard in our company filter, and what we used for this is the relative. Well, okay, we want to go to the sub industry, interactive home entertainment. So, fancy way of saying video games. And we deselect Activision Blizzard. And what the relative sentiment tab will show us is the top five companies by market cap. I said the top five companies by market cap. Let's see. Just working the other day. Well, essentially, it'll show you the scorecard here. So we can see Activision Blizzard has much higher sentiments and much higher mentions and lower sentiment than other companies in the industry. We see Activision Blizzard and Ubisoft, who we mentioned in the content. Okay, here it is. And we can actually hide the filters so we can see the whole view. For the content, I subbed out uh, SEA Limited and NetEase for EA and Ubisoft, so it was a more um, like industry comparison. But this is a new view we have where we can compare different companies' sentiment over time, and we can see here that Activision Blizzard is significantly much lower than its other peers in the industry. Ubisoft also had some recent issues where they were giving raises to top developers in their Canadian studios, and this sparked outcry from the employees that this was going to further exacerbate inclusion and pay equity issues, especially within the industry. Electronic Arts, we didn't find too many issues there, but there have been some in the past. So video game industry as a whole, um, interactive home entertainment as a whole, has some issues when it comes to pay equality, workplace culture. It's not just unique to Activision Blizzard, but Activision Blizzard has come to the fore in a very public way, and its stock is suffering as a result of that. So, any analysts who are covering this area, they should, keep an eye on these other companies like Nintendo, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, who are experiencing some negative events as well.